Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely pumped to unpack this topic with you today because we're jumping straight into one of the most suspenseful, fiercely debated mysteries in modern sports history. We aren't just talking about a simple football tournament here, we're talking about an event that completely shifted the landscape of international sports and sparked a massive global investigation. We're going to look closely at the timeline, the data, and the sheer scale of what unfolded. So let's not waste a single second and get right into it.
Picture the scene. It's December 2nd, 2010. Millions of passionate football fans all around the globe are literally glued to their screens as FIFA prepares to announce the host of the 2022 World Cup. The tension in the room is palpable. You've got delegates from some of the most powerful nations on Earth waiting with bated breath. Finally, the envelope is opened, and the winner is revealed to be Qatar. The collective jaw of the football world just hit the floor. It was a moment of absolute pure astonishment. But what happened immediately after that announcement would go on to create one of the biggest, most incredibly complex controversies we've ever seen in sports. Was this simply an inspiring underdog victory, or is there a completely different hidden game being played behind the scenes?
Okay, let's dive into this and look at exactly why everyone was so stunned. Looking at the heavy favorites on the left, the United States, Australia, and Japan, experts everywhere believe these countries were absolute locks for very practical reasons. They already had massive, state-of-the-art stadiums. They had extensive infrastructure ready to handle millions of tourists. And they boasted deeply rooted football traditions. Now contrast that with the unexpected winner on the right, Qatar, a tiny nation with extreme summer heat that posed a literal logistical nightmare for a summer tournament. Plus, a very limited football history on the global stage. How did a country that so few expected to win manage to defeat some of the world's biggest, most established nations? That massive gap in expectations is exactly where our mystery begins.
Part 1, Whispers Behind Closed Doors. The investigation begins.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happened next. Almost immediately after the announcement, investigators started pulling at the threads of this decision. Look at what they were digging into. Rumors of private meetings happening in luxury hotels, secret, undocumented negotiations, absolute mountains of private emails, and incredibly complex financial records. The narrative quickly shifted, right? It went from being an underdog sports story to a massive international thriller about power, money, and influence. Allegations of corruption spread like wildfire across global headlines. The deeper they looked, the more suspicious the entire foundation of that 2010 vote appeared.
Part 2, the 2015 FIFA takedown, the climax of the investigation.
Let's move to this timeline and see how this builds. Everything traces back to that highly unexpected vote in 2010. Then, fast forward through 2011 to 2014, and those global corruption investigations we just talked about deepened intensely. All of that digging, the exposed emails, the financial records, it was all leading to a massive breaking point, which brings us to the shocking climax in 2015. Several powerful FIFA officials were suddenly arrested as part of a massive corruption sweep. Authorities weren't just alleging minor rule-breaking here, they were alleging years of widespread bribery and secret payments operating inside football's governing body. For millions of fans, those 2015 arrests felt like the definitive proof that the entire system was totally broken.
But here is the major twist in our explainer today. This is the detail that keeps the debate raging well over a decade later. While widespread corruption was undoubtedly uncovered within the ranks of FIFA, leading to those massive arrests, investigators never produced a definitive, public, smoking gun proving that the Qatar vote itself had been bought. Just think about that for a second. Despite the arrests, despite the emails, despite all those financial records, the direct public proof linking that specific 2010 envelope opening to a bribe was simply not there. The ultimate mystery remained unsolved.
Part 3, Following the Money. The motive behind the mystery.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding exactly why the scrutiny was so intense, even without that smoking gun. You really have to recognize the sheer scale of the prize. Hosting a World Cup is not just about national pride. It's about billions of dollars, literally billions. We are talking astronomical broadcast rights, massive corporate sponsorships, an unprecedented influx of tourism, and a level of global influence that very few events can offer a country. When you have this much money and power on the table, it creates an environment where suspicion naturally follows. When the stakes are this high, every single handshake and every closed-door meeting is going to be heavily scrutinized.
Because of those enormous stakes, we are left with two prevailing theories that people still fiercely debate today. On one side, many believe the uncovered corruption within FIFA absolutely must have influenced the voting process. They argue the odds were just too stacked against Qatar for it to be a totally clean win. But on the other side, others argue that Qatar simply ran a much smarter, better campaign. They say Qatar effectively convinced the delegates of their vision for a completely new frontier of football in the Middle East, successfully outmaneuvering the larger nations. Both theories are just trying to make sense of that shocking day back in 2010.
Part 4. An unsolved mystery. The final whistle hasn't blown. Because, as we all know, the 2022 World Cup actually happened, right? The stadiums got built, the matches were incredibly exciting, champions were officially crowned, and fans celebrated in the streets. But despite the success of the event itself, those deep, lingering questions never entirely disappeared. So the crucial point is this. The absolute, objective truth of what happened behind the scenes prior to that 2010 announcement, we might literally never know. The lack of a definitive smoking gun ensures that. But one thing is absolutely certain. That decision forever changed how we view the bidding process, and it's permanently cemented as one of FIFA's most controversial moments.
Which leaves us with this final, powerful question to consider. Based on the timeline, the intense investigations, the billions of dollars at stake, and that shocking lack of direct public proof, what do you think? Was Qatar's victory genuinely the result of a brilliant, smart strategy that simply outplayed the heavyweights? Or did hidden forces and backroom deals ultimately help shape the outcome of the world's biggest sport?